He who fights with monsters should look into it that he himself does not become a monster. When you gaze long into the abyss also gazes into you. Friedrich Nietzsche. We see an old stained book entitled Baldur's Gate with a skull on the front. The book is lying on a wooden table. We delve into the pages and see a cathedral in the dead of the night. A man gets knocked out of the window. A looming, heavily armored figure with horns hovers above him. The injured man lies cornered on the ground. The intimidating figure stands over him.
No, you can't. I will be the last, and you will go first. Please!
The armored figure grabs the man by his neck with one hand. The armored figure tosses the man to the ground below effortlessly. The man lies dead in a pool of blood. Baldur's Gate, Enhanced Edition. Starting a new game, we begin the character creation process. Gender, an aesthetic choice and will not affect your attributes in any fashion. It can, however, affect whether or not an NPC becomes romantically interested in your character. We choose a dashing male with an intense look on his face. The options of race are human, elf, half-elf, dwarf, halfling, gnome, and half-orc. Choose a human. Humans are the predominant race in Faerun. Humans rule most of the significant empires and kingdoms in the realms. They are the most social and tolerant of races, excepting perhaps the halflings. Humans may advance as any class and are also the only race that can dual class. Humans may not multi-class. The class we choose is Paladin. Paladin is a warrior, bold and pure, the exemplar of everything good and true. Like the fighter, the Paladin is a person of action and combat. However, the Paladin lives for the ideals of righteousness, justice, honesty, piety, and chivalry, and strives to become a living example of these virtues so that others may learn from him as well as gain by his actions. Paladin may wear helmets, may wear any armor and use any weapon, may not exceed specialization, 2 slots in any weapon class, may achieve specialization, 2 slots in any fighting style and allocate 3 slots in 2 weapon style. May use Lay on Hands ability once per day to heal a target for 2 hit points per level of the Paladin. May cast Detect Evil once per day per level. We choose the alignment. I typically go Chaotic Good, but we go Lawful Good due to it being the only option for the Paladin. Time to roll for the stats. There are 6 stats. The first is Strength, measures a character's muscle, endurance, and stamina. It is a prime requisite of fighters. Next, Dexterity. Dexterity measures a character's hand-eye coordination, agility, reflexes, and balance. It is a prime requisite of the Thief. Constitution measures a character's fitness, health, and physical resistance to hardship, injury, and disease. This ability is important to the Ranger. Intelligence measures a character's memory, reasoning, and learning ability. It is the prime requisite of the Mage. Note, a character with an intelligence score of 8 or less is illiterate and cannot use scrolls or most wands regardless of his class. Wisdom measures a character's enlightenment, judgment, and common sense. It is a prime requisite of priests. And last, we have Charisma, measures a character's persuasiveness, personal magnetism, and ability to lead. This ability is important to the Druid, Bard, and Paladin. So after more time than I'd like to admit, we have a total roll of 93 points to distribute. Our final stats are Strength at 18/81, I figured that was important, Dexterity at 15, Constitution at 18, Intelligence of 10, Wisdom of 14, and Charisma of 18. I typically like to go with a defensive fighter. We have a high Strength, high Constitution, and high Charisma. Hopefully that works out for the character that we play. Now we're at the proficiency slot screened, and we have loads and loads of weapons to choose from that we can be proficient in. We have a total of 4 proficiency points. However, we can only put 2 total in any given weapon. I put 2 points in the Flail/Morningstar proficiency. The Flail and Morningstar are blunt weapons used to knock your enemies senseless. They are difficult to use, but with skill and practice, these weapons are very useful. I figure that would be an interesting proficiency. The remaining 2 points I put into Two-Handed Sword, the hallmark of the traditional muscle-bound warriors, the two-handed sword. This proficiency class allows your character to use these heavy swords to mangle your opponents. I typically go the one-handed and shield route, but I figure what if we find a cool two-handed sword? Now we're proficient. We choose the color choices for the appearance of the character, and it's a gold with a gray, but I'm sure that will be covered in heavy armor pretty soon. Choose a voice.
I feel this is my rightful place.
We named the character Gorilla, and my apologies for those who prefer a more fantasy role-playing type name, but let's consider Gorilla his nickname for that purpose. On the difficulty screen, we pick core rules instead of normal. This setting is aimed at veteran players who are well versed in AD&D mechanics, which is not me unfortunately, but enemies deal full damage, party members can permanently die, and spells aren't guaranteed to be copied to spellbooks, which I like the sound of that. I kind of like a more difficult RPG experience, but I'm sure I'll regret this later. With that, let's begin.
Nestled atop the cliffs that rise from the Sword Coast, the citadel of Candlekeep houses the finest and most comprehensive collection of writings on the face of Farron. It is an imposing fortress, kept in strict isolation from the intrigues that occasionally plague the rest of the Forgotten Realms. It is secluded, highly regimented, and it is home. Within these hallowed halls of knowledge, your story begins. You have spent most of your 20 years of life within this keep's austere walls, under the tutelage of the sage Gorion. Acting as your father, he has raised you on 1,000 tales of heroes and monsters, lovers and infidels, battles and tragedies. However, one story was always left untold, that of your true heritage. You have been told that you are an orphan, but your past is largely unknown. Lately, Gorion has been growing distant from you, as if some grave matter weighs heavily on his heart. You have asked about his concerns as gently as possible, but your queries have been in vain. Your sole comfort is the knowledge that he is a wise man, and you know he will tell you when the time is right. Nonetheless, his silence is troubling, and you cannot help but feel that something is terribly wrong. Today, Gorion has appeared more agitated than ever, and now he has uncharacteristically interrupted your chores in the middle of the day, imparting hurried instructions for you to equip yourself for travel. He has handed you what gold he can spare, but given no clue as to why. Nevertheless, you now stand before the Candlekeep Inn, ready to purchase what you need for an unplanned and unexpected journey.
Welcome to Candlekeep, your home. We stand outside of a large rustic tavern. It appears to be a very beautiful sunny day and the town is lovely. It smells like burning wood in the air. All around us we hear townsfolk going about their day and conversating. Behind us we hear a muffled song coming from the tavern. The town itself is surrounded by stone, well-crafted walls. Inside we see dirt paths and green grass. We have one quest in our journal, Find Gorion. Upon looking behind us, we see a large wooden sign with a picture of a bed on it. The sign reads Candlekeep Inn. We start our journey by entering the inn. Standing inside the inn, it feels comfortable, dimly lit. Wooden planks on the floor, stone walls. An old man is waiting by a fireplace on the northwest end. A large, bald-headed bartender is at the southeast end. We see wooden stairs going up to a second floor. We approach the old man, whose name is Firebeard Elvenhair.
It's hard to find decent folk nowadays.
He looks at us and says the following. Ah, yes, I'm back within the hallowed halls of Candlekeep. With the iron crisis upon us, the trip from Baragast was more hazardous than I cared to relate. You're Gorion's ward, aren't you? My, you have come into your own, if you would permit an old man jealous of youth to say so. I left an identify scroll with Tetheril in the inner grounds. You should be done examining it by now, so if you could fetch it for me, I'd be grateful. With that, we have a new entry into our journal. It is logged at hour 7, 1368. Firebeard Elvenhair, an old mage who makes the occasional visit here from Baragast, has left an identify scroll with Tetheril in the inner grounds. I swear, without me to run its endless errands, this keep would crumble into the very dust from which it sprang. Upon looking, we see a previous journal entry. Find Gorion. Gorion, my foster father, has informed me that we must immediately leave Candlekeep and set out on a journey. He's given me some gold and I must purchase supplies for the road, including weapons and armor. We walk over to the rotund bartender, Winthrop.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
Well, hello there, young one. Come to visit your old pal Winthrop, have ye? Well, Don't forget the 10,000 gold piece book entrance fee. As per Candlekeep's custom, don't you know?
We look at Winthrop with a smile. You always were the big kidder, Winthrop. That gets funnier nearly every time I hear it. Well, perhaps not quite so often.
Just having a bit of fun with ye, my friend. Them monks may be walking about with their poles in their nethers, but you know you are always welcome here in my sight. Gorion did well by you, he did. So, is there anything I can do for you? Some drinks, a room to sleep, or anything to buy?
Sure, what do you have? We check out Winthrop's weapon selection, and there are plenty of choices. Various swords, quarterstaffs, axes, spears. We purchased 3 things: a flail, given our proficiency, a large shield, and a studded leather armor to protect ourselves. We pick up our flail and take a look at it. It's a wooden rod with a spiked iron ball on the end of it. Between the handle and the implement is a chain link. The weapon was originally used as a tool for threshing grain. It weighs 15 pounds. The damage is 1d6 plus 1, crushing. Speed factor of 7. It's a type of flail Morningstar, one-handed. The shield on our arm feels good. It's a body shield, also known as a kite or tower shield. It is a massive wooden shield reaching from our chin to our toe. It has to be firmly fastened to the forearm. The shield hand must firmly grip it at all times. Naturally, this precludes use of the shield hand for anything but holding the body shield in place. It gives us a minus armor class plus 1, an extra plus 1 versus missile attacks. We throw the 25-pound armor on. It's a studded leather armor and has little in common with a normal leather armor. Leather armor is a hardened shell. Studded leather armor is soft and supple with hundreds of metal rivets affixed. The rivets are so close together that they form a flexible coating of hard metal that turns aside slashing and cutting attacks. The soft leather backing is little more than a means of just securing the rivets in place. What this means to our character is that our current armor class is 6. After we put the armor on, it is now 3. In regards to the flail, our current THACO is 20. After equipping the flail, it goes down to 17. Our damage gets raised from between 5 and 10 to 8 and 13. Back to the game, we walk through a rounded archway into the adjacent room. We see dressers and bookcases that we can rummage through, but we're not a thief, so we walk on by. Upon walking into the next room, we see 2 nobles. They're having a conversation with each other. The noble woman greets us.
A pleasure to meet a socially acceptable person such as yourself.
We approach the noble man who is standing next to the woman.
No time to chit-chat.
He continues, "Step up to the heat, young one. You'll need a good fire to warm the chill stares of those monks. Most inhospitable they are. Isn't that so lovely?" The noble woman agrees with him that they are most standoffish. We interject with the following comment. "Perhaps they have not been as welcoming as they could have, but you are strangers in their home." The nobleman replies with the following. "Perhaps, but if they wish no one to enter, it is a simple matter of not letting anyone enter at all. It would certainly be a shame if they did, though. Such a storehouse of knowledge has limited use if no one can use the stored knowledge. Ah well, it is cozy enough here by the fire to wash away any troubles I otherwise have with the place." We decide to check out the second floor of the tavern and walk up the wooden stairway. There are numerous small rooms where noblemen are staying the night.
Away with you, beggar!
They are none too happy with us being there, so we decide to leave and not deal with these people.
Don't touch me! I might catch something.
We exit the tavern into the fresh air, now fully armed. We make our way clockwise along the dirt path. We see an older woman named Felidia on a corner underneath an oak tree.
Hello there.
She asks us for a favor. The dear absent-minded Felidia has lost another one of her books, The History of Halrua this time. Last time she was at Candlekeep, she lost an entire 4-volume set in the hay we keep for the cows. We agree to help her and we continue clockwise. We pass by a few cows in a stable. We walk over to the cow and pat it on the head gently. Continuing onward, we greet a heavily armored guard.
I should have joined the army.
He tells us that it's thankfully quiet here today, as usual. He hears there are problems outside, though, something about an iron shortage. We keep going. We stand outside of a small house with a thatched roof. We casually walk inside. Inside, a man quickly runs over to us. He's dressed in a hood, and his name is Shank.
Oh, goody goody. I've gone and found ye first. You're the ward of Gorion, no doubt.
I am. What can I do for you? We reply.
Oh, our encounter shall be quite simple for you. Plainly put, I have made it my mission to end your life. Success will mean a little respect among my peers, so you see, you can do very little, except die.
We quickly attack and the battle commences next to a fireplace. Death. He takes 8 crushing damage from Gorilla. We gain 20 experience. We pick up a warhammer and some coin before exiting. We think to ourselves for a moment. Someone wishes me dead. Gorion is right to think we are no longer safe here. I have no idea why someone would want to cause us harm. The attempt on my life may have been laughable, but I fear there are more threats to come. Our thoughts are quickly cut off as a man named Parda in a yellow robe approaches us. Gorilla, you have cut yourself above the brow. There. What is wrong, child? Something in your eyes tells me that something is very wrong indeed. It's nothing, Parda. One of the cats didn't like me petting it. I'm all right, really. Parda replies with the following. Yes, well. Get what you need from the inn then, for Gorion is desperate for you to be off. We leave the area before he can figure out what's going on. As we walk, we see a bunch of haystacks bundled together. We notice a small object in between the bales of hay. Seeing that it's Philidia's lost book, we pick it up. The book is titled History of Halrua. We close the book, and we approach a man named Dreppen who is standing next to us.
What do you need?
Nice day, ain't it? Too bad Nissa here ain't enjoying it, though, her being sick and all. I need to get her one of them potions of antidote off Hull. He stayed up drinking last night and got hauled out of bed to man the gates early this morning. So I bet he's got a few of them lying around somewheres. We update our journal with another task. It appears that Hull has been using these potions to avoid his morning hangovers. We continue southeast and we see a beautiful marble structure. There are 4 marble columns inlaid with gold and mosaics line the floor. We approach the man standing on the marble tiles.
These walls contain the world's knowledge.
It is a priest of Agma, and he is pleased that we have taken the time to pay tribute to wise Agma. We inquire what he offers at this temple of wisdom. It appears that at these temples, we can donate coin, we can buy potions, and get healing services for a price. We continue south.
Why Moradin's hammer?
And an angry dwarf named Rivor approaches us. I thought I asked you to clean the rats out of this building yesterday. Hop to it! Get in there! We log our journal. Rivor has once again pressed me into service in his storehouse. All reports suggest that our feline forces have turned traitor, and that the rats are on the offensive. It appears that I am our last hope in the face of such an awesome display of power. Farewell, dear journal. Farewell. We charge headfirst into the storehouse. Surrounded by evil rats, we fight valiantly. Upon slaying the last rat, a group of cats casually walk in here. The lazy cats appear uninterested in doing their job. We leave the storehouse. We approach Rivor,
Moradin's hammer.
complete the quest, and we have gained 1 experience. Ah yes, kill them rats like the rats they are. A glorious battle unlike this world has ever seen. Here's 5 gold pieces. Don't spend it all in one place. We update our journal. Mental note, don't join the armed forces. They never inform you of full danger when you enter, and they always pay you squat when you leave. Rivor gave me all of 5 gold pieces for putting my life on the line there. Isn't there a Candlekeep People's Revolutionary Front I can join somewhere? We head southwest and enter through an archway in a large stone wall. Inside is a beautiful garden. Colorful flowers surround brick pathways. 2 square flowing water fountains lie inside the center of the garden. We see a woman standing in the garden. She's athletic looking, wearing a purple robe and hood. She calls out and runs over to us.
Hey, it's me, Imoen.
Her name is Imoen. She has a pretty face, tan skin, reddish brown hair. One eyebrow is raised as if she is skeptical but maybe mischievous. She's wearing a thick necklace that matches the color of her hair. She has a somewhat childish voice when she speaks to us. I'm surprised that stuffy old Gorion let you away from your studies and chores. That old fiddlefaddle, I snuck off too. Old Puffguts Winthrop was looking for me, but I've got all day to do his chores. You have time for a story today? No, I can tell you don't. What have you been up to? We replied to Imoen. I'm afraid I cannot chat today, little one. My foster father wishes me to prepare for a journey, but will not say to where. Imoen looks at us. Little one? I'm not much younger than you, though you sure got tall fast, relatively anyway. A journey, eh? I never get to travel. Wish I could go with you. Yep, I really wish I could. Yes, sir. Really do. I get the message. I'll ask if you can go with us. Imoen looks at us again. Oh, don't be silly. Gorion would never let you even finish the sentence, especially after what that letter of his said. Did I say that? No, of course I didn't. Never saw no letter. Nope. Guess I'll just get back to work now. You'd better go. Gorion is waiting. We take Imoen's advice and we go to Gorion. He is standing at the top of a tall stone stairway, surrounded by 2 more fountains. We walk up the stairway and we talk to Gorion.
Oh, my child, I am glad I have found you.
Gorion continues.
This is very unnerving, I know, but you must trust me. It is very important that you pack your possessions so that we may leave Candlekeep immediately. Hurry! There is no time to tarry. This keep is well protected, but not invulnerable.
Please, Father, tell me where we will be going, you say to Gorion.
Alas, I cannot, for I have truly not decided yet. All that is certain is that we will be far safer on the move. Perhaps the woods might offer some secluded security, or perhaps the city of Baldur's Gate would offer cover amidst its teeming throngs of people. I do not know where we shall end up, but I have a few friends here and there. I will think on this. We ask Gorion to wait a little longer, as we have a few more things to do. We decide to walk around the library and explore the beautiful garden to see if we can find anything. We walk past a group of chanters, voice of the east, the west, and voice of the north and south. We loop around the garden and bump into Tetheril.
Greetings, young one.
He says to us.
Firebeard has sent you to me, has he? Very well, return this scroll to him. But then you must hurry and speak with Gorion. He is waiting for you on the steps of the central library. I assure you, child, it is a matter of great urgency.
We decide to wrap up with our quests and finish exploring the town before we depart. We see Hull to the southeast and we approach him. He looks at us and speaks.
Hey, kid. I woke late this morning and left my sword in the barracks before going on duty. If you want to get it for me, it's in the chest, the foot of my bed on the right side of the barracks. Quick now, before the gate warden catches me without it. You'll also find an antidote in there. I think Dreppen needs one for old Nessa.
We now make our way to the west. We see a medium-sized brick house along the dirt path. The sign says bunkhouse, and we enter.
I have a blade with your name on it.
As we enter, we get rushed for the second time today. A man named Carbos speaks.
Here there. You're Gorion's little whelp, aren't you? Yeah, you match the description. You don't look so dangerous to me.
And what business is that of yours, we ask.
I'll make it my business if I please. Just thought I'd have me a look at you for myself before I put a blade down your gullet. Someone seems to think you're trouble, so I'm going to use your head for a ticket out of the gutter. I'm just a little street trash hood, they say, but I'll show 'em.
We make quick work of Carbos, and we gain 20 experience. As we exit the house, another hooded figure approaches us in a green robe.
Something on your mind?
At this point, I'm assuming they were our caretakers.
I heard shouting, Gorilla. Are you all right?
It is better you don't ask questions, Karan. You have instructed and inspired me throughout my childhood. Your heart would break to see what just transpired here. Oh, child. You are too young for the life that is being thrust upon you. If you be fully equipped for your journey, I pray you run now to Gorion on the library steps, for he is anxious to depart. With that, Karan leaves and we enter the adjacent building, the barracks. It is a simple room with beds set up on the left and on the right corner.
Not a problem.
We approach Fuller, one of the soldiers.
I should have joined the army.
Oh, what a mead-filled night. That hole is just too much. Poor sap had to go down man the gate this morning, too. I don't know how he does it. What can I do for you anyways?
Yeah, the Mead would explain why Hull forgot to put his sword on this morning. He sent me to fetch it for him.
Sure. Should be in the chest over against the wall there.
We run over, grab the sword, and we leave.
It will be done.
We loop back around the town to make sure we finish our tasks in the journal. We return to Felidia with her book.
Hello there.
She's grateful, and she tells us that we remind her of Gorion when we grin. She explains that it was tough for Gorion to raise us, but it was a toil of love for him. A toil of destiny, even. She tells us we must be a very special child to draw praise from a man of his silent nature. She gives us a gem for our effort. Candlekeep, it seems, continues to defy all laws of economics. The more books it holds, the more valuable they become to those who read them. All this thinking is making my head hurt. Time to pawn this gem and get something useful for it. We head back into the inn one more time with the intention of selling the gem to Winthrop.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
As good to see ye again as any other I could have laid eyes on. Make yourself as comfortable as you will. If you wish for anything, just ask.
We sell the gem to Winthrop. We return the scroll to Firebeard.
It's hard to find decent folk nowadays.
He's grateful for our help. He cast a spell on us and said it would protect us from any evil we would meet tonight. I don't know what's out there behind these walls, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Say our goodbyes and we leave.
It will be done.
We wrap up our tasks by heading over to Dreppen.
What do you need?
We hand him his potion and he speaks to us.
You're a wonder, you are. Stick with me and we'll go far. Well, okay, stick with me and we'd probably never leave the walls of Candlekeep, would we? Good thing you ain't wearing none of that metal armor, though. I hear the bandits out there would just kill you as soon as you look to get it off your back. I just hope this whole iron crisis business is wrapped up soon. We leave Dreppen and think to ourselves for a moment. Well, found that potion for Dreppen's cow. Just hope it's what he thinks it is and not some potion of fire breath or something. Remembering we have one more task left, we walk over to Hull and hand him his sword. Hull says, "Thanks, kiddo. Ryan didn't bring you up half bad, did he? You're lucky to have grown up here in Candlekeep, to be honest. Sometimes I think the world outside these gates has gone mad, with all this fighting over iron shortages and all. Amn and Baldur's Gate will be at war before the season's out. Mark my words. Anyhow, I'm on duty. Here's 20 pieces of gold for saving my skin from the chief." We walk away, impressed that Hull paid a full 20 gold for that sword of his. Now, having completed each one of our tasks, we decide to leave with Gorion, given the urgency. We approach Gorion once again.
You must learn to be patient, child.
Ready to go now, we say to Gorion. We hurry to the front entrance of the gate. Before we leave, he stops to tell us something.
Listen carefully. If we ever become separated, it is imperative that you make your way to the Friendly Arm Inn. There you will meet Khalid and Jahira. They have long been my friends, and you can trust them. Let's have it, child. The night can only get worse, so we must find shelter soon. Don't worry. I will explain everything as soon as there is time. Wait, there is something wrong. We are in an ambush. Prepare yourself.
Just then, a group of skeletons and ogres surround us. They're with the armored figure we saw earlier. The armored figure speaks.
You're perceptive for an old man. You know why I'm here. Hand over your ward and no one will be hurt. If you resist, it shall be a waste of your life.
You're a fool if you believe I would trust your benevolence. Step aside and you and your lackeys will be unhurt.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, old man.
Gorion casts a spell and duplicates himself into 6 people.
Get out of
A huge battle commences with Gorion casting pillars of fire and lightning at his enemies. The mysterious armored figure slashes at him with his sword. Gorion falls to the ground.
Dawn is especially cruel this morning. You awake with the realization that you have not been living some horrible dream. Ambushed, you saw Gorion cut down before your eyes, and even his powerful magic could not stop the onslaught. It was his wish that you flee, but that does not remove the feeling of helplessness that now overwhelms you. Hand over your ward, the armored fiend had said. He was after you and you alone, but why? If only Gorion had given some clue. But now you are alone and lost. Candlekeep is near, but you will find no quarter there. The readers pay for their serenity with rather draconian entry rules, and without Gorion's influence, their doors will remain closed. You will not last long on your own with your meager equipment. Perhaps you can get some help from the friends Gorion mentioned, the ones at the Friendly Arm.
It's daylight now, and we find ourselves on a stone path surrounded by green grass. We see Imoen, and she's running up to us. Sorry I followed you, but I could never get out of Candlekeep, and those monks are such a bore. Never any decent coin in their pockets neither. I saw Gorion. I'm so sorry. Kind of figured something bad might happen to you out here. I accidentally read a letter on his desk the other day. I can't remember exactly what it said, but he still might be on his body. Anyway, I'm not going to let you wander around out here all alone. Never let a friend down, no sir. I'll stick with you until you say otherwise, I will. Imoen has joined our party. Our party is now 2. We take this time to check our inventory and take a look at our stats. Imoen is a female human, thief. Her alignment is neutral good. She has a strength of 9, dexterity of 18, constitution of 16, intelligence of 17, wisdom 11, charisma of 16. Imoen is quick and charismatic, and it seems like she's going to be a great thief. It seems like she also has a lot of great skills. She has a 25 in open locks, 35 in find traps, 25 in pickpockets, 35 in move silently, 15 in hide in shadows, detect illusion a 0, but she can still do it. She has a 5 in set traps, and a backstab multiplier of 2. That said, given that she's a thief, she may not wear armor heavier than studded leather. We set off with Imoen across the grass and dirt, toward the area where the battle occurred, and where Gorion fell. We pass through yellow and green oak trees, and orange butterflies circle around us. The air smells like flowers and plant life, and a hawk flies above us. We eventually reach the area where Gorion fell. The ground is still charred. Circles of black mark the areas where the battle occurred. We see Gorion's lifeless body and we check his person. Among the items we grab are an unidentified belt, a scroll, and a dagger. Gorion also has 58 coins on him, but we decide to leave it on him, feeling it will be inappropriate to take it. We do search the enemies that fell. We find a longbow, a morning star, and a gem. Imoen was correct about the scroll, and we unravel it to take a look. My friend Gorion, it starts with. Please forgive the abruptness with which I now write. The time is short and there is much to be done. We have long feared may soon come to pass, though not in the manner foretold, and certainly not in the proper time frame. As we both know, forecasting these events has proved increasingly difficult, leaving little other option than a leap of faith. We have done what we can for those in thy care, but the time nears when we must step back and let matters take what course they will. We have, perhaps, been a touch too sheltering to this point. Despite my desire to remain neutral in this matter, I could not, in good conscience, let events proceed without some measure of warning. The other side will move very soon, and I urge thee to leave Candlekeep this very night, if possible. The darkness may seem equally threatening, but a moving target is much harder to hit, regardless of how sparse the cover. A fighting chance is all that can be asked at this point. Should anything go awry, do not hesitate to seek aid from travelers along the way. I do not need to remind thee that it is a dangerous land, even without our current concerns, and a party is stronger than an individual in all respects. Should additional assistance be required, I understand that Jaheira and Khalid are currently at the Friendly Arm Inn. They know little of what has passed, but they are ever thy friends and will no doubt help however they can. Luck be with us all. I'm getting too old for this. The letter is signed only with a capital E. With that, we make a new log in our journal. Go to the Friendly Arm Inn. We now leave with Imoen to explore the area, away from the ambush site. We make our way through dense pine trees, then along the coast of a jagged cliff. Looking down, we see a light blue body of water. A single diseased gibberling lies in ambush. It attacks. It seems Imoen is very handy with a bow. She hits with a critical 4 missile damage, swiftly killing it. We gain 35 experience and keep moving. We come across a stone pathway and we see an obelisk. The obelisk reads Candlekeep Coastway. We also see 2 men. One is tall with a green robe. The other is short, wearing leather armor. They appear to be waiting for something. We approach the tall one, whose name is Zar.
Montaran, you are so aggravating! 'Tis disturbing to my demeanor!
Zar looks like he lost his mind long ago. One of his hands is clutching his head, the other is clutching his mouth. His face paint reminds us of a dark clown. Numerous dots are painted on his forehead, hair long, light brown. He's also wearing a large necklace. It appears to be an emblem of a gargoyle or something of that nature. He speaks as we approach.
Hold, Montaran. This young wayfarer is in need. Someone has set about thee, stranger. You have barely escaped with your life.
Montaran, who is the shorter one, replies to Czar.
Aye, sir. Looks to have been roughed up quite well.
Czar replies back.
Indeed. I can offer you healing potion if you wish. It's a token of goodwill.
We reply to Czar. I'd be grateful for any assistance. Czar appears happy.
Nothing to fear from these simple potions, and I'll not even hold you in debt, for your conscience knows otherwise. Yes, just like all good people, says Montaran.
The party has gained an item, potion of healing. I begin to question myself.
Czar continues. Perhaps as payment you would go with us to Nashkel. It is a troubled area, and we mean to investigate some disturbing rumors surrounding the local mines. Some acquaintances are very concerned about the iron shortage. Specifically where to lay blame in the matter. We would be useful. I'll not hold you to it. We are to meet the mayor of the town, a man named Baron Gaskill, I believe.
As usual, Montaran puts in his 2 cents.
Your conscience be your guide.
We think about this and we reply with the following. I would join you, but I must meet someone first. Perhaps you will go with me. Czar says,
with precious little time, but it's best to travel accompanied.
Montaran chimes in.
Aye, we'll go with ye. Ye owe us for our time, though.
Montaran and Czar join our party, which is now 4. We have a look at Montaran.
Ye spoke at me? This better be good.
He's a male halfling, fighter/thief. Neutral evil, lightly armored with pointy ears. A maniacal look on his face, like he's happy to kill you. We look at his stats. Strength of 16, Dexterity 17, Constitution 15, Intelligence 12, Wisdom 13, Charisma 9. Montaran is skilled in 2 proficiencies, Short Sword and Sling, both 2 points each. Montaran is a multi-class. Though they cannot use their thieving skills while wearing more than studded leather armor, they may specialize in, but not master, any weapon they can use. His skills are very similar to Emoin. He's got a 25 in open locks, 10 in find traps, 35 in pickpockets, 45 in move silently, 35 hide in shadows, 0 in detect illusion and set traps, backstab multiplier of 2. A fighter/thief, this character can use the abilities of a fighter and a thief. Let's have a look at Czar.
Something troubling you?
He's a male human necromancer, chaotic evil. Strength of 14, Dexterity 16, Constitution 10, Intelligence 17, Wisdom 16, and Charisma of 10. Czar has 1 point proficiency in dagger, but obviously his forte is going to be magic. The 4 of us set off to exploring the rest of the area.
Not a problem.
Hello there.
A round man with a red shirt and bald head approaches us.
Keep away, brigands. A hermit needs his peace.
Having spoke his mind, he walks away. Heading southwest along the stone path. The first battle the 4 of us have together is against the wolf.
And the rivers run red! What need to get me lightly, task?
Gorilla gets the final hit and we gain 65 experience. We head east. Reaching the end of the area, we check our map. The Friendly Arm Inn is to the northeast. Baragast is to the southeast. However, both areas are unreachable at the moment. We have to go east towards another forest area. From there, we can head north or south.
Ho there, wanderer. Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man.
Immediately after reaching the next forest area, we're approached by an old man. He's wearing red robes and a red pointy hat. He has a cape on. He has a long white beard and appears to be a wizard. The old man continues.
It's been nigh into a 10 days since I've seen a soul walking this road, and I've been without decent conversation since. Traveling nowadays appears to be the domain of either the desperate or the deranged. If thou wouldst pardon my intrusion, may I inquire which pertains to thee?
We look at the old man and reply with the following.
Not to imply anything, but how do you measure up to your own standards? Pestering strangers about their mental state doesn't seem all that well adjusted to me. Point well taken, and thou hast answered my query most adequately. I shall think of thee as determined instead. I shall trouble thee no more, as thou art more than capable of the task at hand. North is the Friendly Arm Inn, where I am certain thou shalt find trustworthy friends awaiting. I have said too much, and taken too much time from thee. Fare thee well.
The four of us now stand on a stone path. To the left of us is a large stone structure that says Lion's Way. There are strange symbols etched upon it. The four of us head northeast. We notice the forest here is more colorful, with trees of yellow, orange, and white.
And the rivers run.
The enemies here are traveling in pairs, and Imoen gets the final hit on two diseased gibberlings. The appearance of the gibberlings are small and gray. They appear to be humanoid, with long dark hair that resembles a lion mane. We continue east, and a man who appears to be a hunter approaches us. He is carrying a longbow and has white hair. His name is Aolen. If you don't mind, please try to keep your voices down. There be beasties about with better hearing than we. What should I be wary of in this area? We ask Aolen. Around here, I wouldn't worry yourself too much, unless you're brainless and charge everything you see. Mostly gibberlings, but they aren't too much of a hassle. A fair bow and good sword arm could handle one, maybe two. More with a mage or cleric backup. Wolves have become a bit more predatory lately. I think it's because more people are hunting for their food, seeing as how the iron shortage took away their normal livelihoods. A hungry wolf is a nasty thing, and I wouldn't travel without a group if I were you. We thank him for the advice and he heads off. As the four of us explore an area with yellow ground and various height elevations, we are attacked by two Zarts. At first glance, they look like two little blue aliens wearing leather armor.
Cut you down to size.
One is stabbed to death by Montaron, the other down by crushing damage from Gorilla. We head south and come across another path. A man in brown clothing is standing on the path. His name is Anduit, appears to be a messenger. We approach.
Hey!
Must dash to Bergast, I must. Governor Keldath must be told of the extra troops being sent his way. Bergast is to be garrisoned in case of the Amnian attack, though Amd has denied such intent. Of course they would deny it. The snakes. Make a way for the messenger.
He runs off and we decide to follow the stone path. It leads us to a large obelisk.
I could do no other.
Ye spoke sleep lightly, Taskmaster.
After all of this travel, the four of us decide it's a good time to take a breather. We check out the biography of our two new companions. We ask Zar about his past. He has very few coherent things to say. His desire to determine the cause of the iron shortage seems benevolent enough, but his motives remain unclear. His ramblings seem disjointed, but his faculties are obviously in good enough order for him to be adept in magic. He mutters something about how he and his associate Montaron are in the employ of a powerful group, but when pressed for details he gets extremely agitated and does not speak for some time. He is obviously at least partially insane, and the network that would hire him must be dark indeed. When we ask Montaron about his past, he openly threatens us with bodily harm. He seems quite dangerous, and more willing to engage in gratuitous violence. It would appear that he cares very little for life, including his own. He works grudgingly with Zar, even though he obviously despises the man. Whoever their employers are, they must be powerful indeed. These two would likely kill each other without even a presence over their head preventing it. Now, Montaron might be willing to discuss the whole matter with you, but you get the feeling that you probably would not wake up the next morning. Standing at this obelisk, we're at a crossroads here. We have to make a decision. If we head north, we hit the Friendly Arm Inn. We know based on previous conversations that we have two companions waiting there, and it's where our quest leads. If we head south, we hit Baragast. Zar and Montaron need to go south towards Nashkel, but we don't know how far south it is. We know that Zar and Montaron are pressed for time. Do we head north to the Friendly Arm Inn? possibly losing Montaran and Zar if we take our time. Or do we leave our friends waiting, head south towards Montaran and Zar's quest? The third option is we continue without Montaran and Zar. Gotta figure, they're of the evil alignment. Maybe they pose a risk to us and Emoen. I'll post the question on our forum. If you're not on the forum, feel free to let me know some other way. Thanks for watching. See ya.